Hello and welcome to issue 32 of the Hobby Hammer cast. Are we a cast?
Cast.
If we're an issue, are we a cast? Well, anyway, it's the 32th issue. I'm joined, as ever, by Miles.
Yo, what is up?
You've just finished shaking a paint up by hand like a peasant. Like a peasant.
Look how much white is on the bottom as well.
Oh, he's got a splodge of blue. Is that a contrast?
That's meant to be Ultramarines blue, and look at it.
Oh no. You can't recommend contrasts anyway. It's
dreadful.
Goes against the business model. Anyway.
Absolutely dreadful.
Anyway, before I start criticising your painting, because that's an argument I won't win, what is on the menu today?
Tonight, whenever you watch this, today we are looking at the community's miniatures. It's been a while since we've done this. We're going to plumb the depths of Discord to see what our community is producing. We're going to be absolutely creaming over the new Dark Mechanicum miniatures released on Heresy Thursday. That's going to revolve the majority of the discussion. And we're also going to be looking at like stunty people as well, squats.
Stunties, yeah.
Like that.
Stunties. More stunties for Necro has been the call. Let's do that because that's going to be quite fast, Miles. Because
that's very much your segment. So
my segment, you pinning this on me.
This
on me. So yeah, on Necromunda Monday maybe. We got a leak. Someone called it, but it wasn't a leak. It was from Warhammer Community, where we get squat exosuits, which is a bit of an odd one. I think they're all right models in themselves. I wouldn't say they're outrageously good. The little mining drone I quite like.
I'm having a look what they, because I can't remember what they actually look like.
They've got like a Saturnine-esque look to them, where they've got the higher like Terminator pads round
egg look to them. Yeah.
So they are mining suits like Saturnine was supposed to have started as. So I can sort of see that aesthetic in there. That's quite nice as an aesthetic to see in this like sort of civilian context.
Yeah.
Yes, I hate squats.
Yeah.
I hate squats. I love knives.
Weirdly, so the best squats I've seen, or the best use of the squat range, is when people have put normal human legs on them and made like Necromunda gangs out of them. So when I'm looking at this, I think that would make a sick mining suit if you put the
chopped off at the legs and then Gene Stealer cult or something like that.
No, who are the crazy people in Hive Temnos? The corpse grinder. Yeah, when people put those legs on these miniatures, they look great. When I look at this, I don't see a miniature that I'm particularly inspired by and I want to paint. I see conversion fodder.
Yeah, I think it's got the potential for that, as you say. As squats, we've just seen a load of squats as well, like a year ago, 2 years ago for the Ash Waste.
Yeah.
So it seems strange that these are the gang that are getting more stuff.
It's very squat heavy Necromunda now, isn't it? And we were chatting before the show. Why haven't they released more stuff for like Enforcers? So we're wondering, okay, are these releases like a dumping ground for this range instead of like bringing them into the squat range proper? Like dump them in Necromunda because we have them, we've done them already.
Yeah, if we take
a release slot,
if we're taking the negative from it,
yeah.
Which do you know what? I that's not a disagree of maybe that's the case, because it is very squat heavy. Like Enforcers haven't had a rules update. They've had a new vehicle, but sort of drastically need a rules update because they've not released since Book of Judgment, which is well before the House gang books, along with like Chaos Helot gangs haven't received any love since then. They need those updates, and it would have been quite good to get them like beyond the dust wall. There are Enforcer patrols that go out. But yeah, squats. We've got
not to be overly negative. Yeah, it's a solid enough release.
Do you know what?
It's a solid enough release.
It started out high because I like dwarfishness. I am a stunty at heart, and
for Necromunda, I would love to see more craziness like the last box set that we received, like more stuff from the Underhells, more stuff from Hive Secundus.
Yeah, more sort of malstrainness. One thing that is
Horror
crazy. This is very speculative, right? So, in the article, it mentions the Sump Sea, so that they prospect the. Where is it? I'm gonna find it so that we can be highlighted. Yeah, suited for prospecting the abyssal depth of the Sump Seas for forgotten treasures. I'm really hoping that means Sump Sea is gonna happen as an actual setting. Like the escape route from Secundus could be like across the Sump Seas, which would be incredible.
I mean, those model sets as well. A few years ago, like in the Blanchitsu articles, somebody did a ferryman gang. Like that would be sick. Yeah, I want to see more stuff from Hive Secundus. That's such an interesting setting. I think it could prove to be like a breeding ground for zealots and helots and different kinds of cultists, different kinds of undesirables. And you feel like it would be like the perfect location to introduce muties, one of the major gangs. I mean, what don't we have so far? Muties and ratskins.
Yeah.
From the original core set. And you think this would be like a prime opportunity to introduce muties at this point. So
yeah, we don't have pit slaves as well. Though whether they'll
my god,
these are the three. Yeah. Oh, we do have muties actually. There is muties. There is a way of gaining muties or mutations for your Outlanders gangs, which is like a special type of gang where you have lots of scum, and then you can pick various leaders from different delegations. Right. They did a mutie thing for that, but it's not like a fully fleshed out option, right?
Sure.
It would be nice. It would be nice to see those. And I do like the direction Necromunda's actually headed at the moment. The option for these different places on Necromunda's to be explored in more detail as an accessible level.
Yeah.
For everyone, because one of the things is with different Necromunda settings, there's some amazing like artisan representations of, say, like the Sump Sea. Maddock Uzreg on Instagram has got like an amazing made out of plumbing supplies Sump Sea table that's just incredible. But it's I'll pull it up on screen. Right, so I've just linked Miles to some of the Sump Sea stuff. We can see on the first post one of the structures that he's built, and this is like incredible stuff, right?
Yeah.
That he's built there.
Now, this is the kind of stuff I envy because my brain doesn't work like this. It doesn't work like in terrain. I can see miniatures, I can combine them in different ways, but when it comes to terrain, I just haven't got this. So seeing somebody put something together this spectacular, oh my god! I just saw the like multi-level platform above the Sump Sea. That is awesome.
Yeah. So this is one of the things. I'm the same. I can build terrain out of kits or 3D prints and put them together in unusual ways. Like I've done that, made like large that people can see on the channel structures, laser cut bits to then expand on those structures. I'm not someone that tends to look at plumbing supplies and have that flair of construction in that way. So having something for the Sump Sea or the Secundus to spark creation within that setting, I think would be really good as the like gateway entry point, the gateway drug, to get us into those settings, because I would really like to explore them.
I'd love to play on this board. Is this guy based in the UK?
He's Brussels. Trip to Brussels, Miles. Trip to Brussels.
Trip to Brussels. Yeah, let's invite ourselves around his house.
exactly.
Let's impose ourselves. No, that is awesome. That is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
It's the kind of structure you see in your mind, when you're playing a game of Necromunda, even on like the old classic cardboard stuff. Even though the cardboard's there, you see that in your mind. Yeah, that is.
Like, and even scrolling down, having these like bits of, or like the Caradon overlords, is it the dwarves in steampunk?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
having that as a boat on the back of a Ridge Hauler trailer.
So clever. Yeah.
This little bubble
the
for
guy in
a
the
fuel
pulpit
pod
as well. Oh my god. There's okay, I'm stealing that idea. It's like a cow door guy on a pulpit. Yeah.
These many. We could go down a whole rabbit hole of Necromunda Instagram, Miles. We definitely
That's an episode.
Could. Is it?
That's an episode.
I think it's
best
more
best
than
the Necromunda. Okay, yeah, that's we're doing that on one of our episodes because this is my kind of chat. But I wonder how interesting that episode will be. Other than like, oh, this is good and that's good. Look at this. Isn't that good?
Yeah, I think that's what it ends in, isn't it? That is the rabbit hole there. But so yeah, I'm excited the way Necromunda is going. I would like to see, obviously, the same as you said, more Secundus, more something, more crazy stuff for them to do. The more out there, the better.
Yeah.
Well, I've got this thing that I say it a few times on whenever I'm doing reviews of books and things like that. I tend to review things with two things. How balanced are the rules is obviously some in there. Like, how well are these rules written as a piece? A big part of it, though, that's an overlap, is how mental stuff are they trying? And I really like to see like the mental stuff. And I find myself much more willing to forgive like bad rules writing because or something that just doesn't work because they've tried something completely mental. I'd prefer them to fail trying something mental and then us all as a community to just go like, we shall run with this forever. I'd prefer to see that than like...
A Necromunda feels like a game system where it's a lot more forgiving to do stuff like that.
Yeah, because it's much more like a GM. Whenever you hear them talk about Necromunda as like how they've done it as a studio, it's very much like, well, these are like just GM starting points and run it as basically like a Dungeons and Dragons fucking gang campaign. But that is the gush about Necromunda. Squats.
Yeah, Necromunda.
I like them. Miles was trying to bring me down in the middle of it because he liked dirty knife ears, and I like them. I like the Saturnine aesthetic. Probably going to get some and put ball bearings in the heads so that they've got like round heads. Oh god,
yeah, that's an aesthetic. Yeah, it's a good aesthetic. I like the aesthetic.
I copied it off Callum, who has been on the channel playing squats a few times, and he just bought a big bag of all different sizes of ball bearings and was like, I'm just going to spend a day checking to see which one fits in each head socket. And
one of these will work.
Well, they look really good, so he didn't paint them. Like he found the ones that fit, put them to the side, and I think magnetized in the bottom so that he could just drop the ball bearing in after painting, and then he's got this perfect metallic sheen, obviously, because it's a metal ball
That's clever.
on the thing, and he's nightmare for not getting myself in the pictures because if you check on the channel, anyone that goes back and watches the Barefoot Miniatures games where we're playing the squats, you can maybe see me in the metal ball taking the picture because it's so reflective.
It's completely nude.
Exactly. So, right, moving on from one sort of mental setting.
Yep. Into
a mental release. Didn't see it coming whatsoever. Because I've been complaining that this last Heresy release was not mental at all. And I've complained a little bit, not tons, but it wasn't mental at all. What the hell were they doing? It's just Castellax. We didn't even get Castellax 2B with flail arm. With like tentacle whip arm.
I think that's a running theme with any old Heresy head, and that's I hate doing it because it feels like a broken record, and we try and be positive here. But this edition very much feels like a caretaker edition of the Heresy, where we are seeing good, strong foundational roots being set. Everything's coming out in plastic. We have the tanks, we have the infantry, we have characters. You have everything you need to start playing the game, all released in plastic. That's amazing. But is it exciting? Because we've seen that stuff before.
It's low on the mentalness scale, Miles. It's low on the mentalness.
Yeah. But remember the first time you saw Sakaran, you thought, oh my God, that is mental, because it's so different. Oh my God, it's so different from like the normal boxy Rhino or Land Raider we've seen before. When you saw Castellax came out the first time, oh my God, these are mind-blowing. We haven't had those mind-blowing, or very few mind-blowing moments in this edition. Fulgrim Ascended, I would argue, is probably like the biggest release of this edition, like the most mental release of this edition. And things have been ticking over.
Yeah. Kratos. When the Kratos in that video that they did at the start of Heresy 2, did you not see it and go, ah!
Yeah. And how many people have you seen like painting Kratos, even though they're not particularly good well, as far as I can see, they're not particularly like huge in game, but everyone has at least one because it's something new. It's something we haven't seen before in the Heresy. This new Dark Mechanicum release is exactly the shot in the armor the Heresy needs. It's something new, something we can get enthusiastic about. It has a visual design that is linked to the previous Mechanicum range, but it's visually distinct. I'm so glad they haven't leaned into the typical chaos thing of making everything like bulging biceps and have this overlay of fleshiness to them.
Yeah, I agree.
The sinister nature of them comes in form of like the AI and the programming, and it's the background fuzz behind them that works its way into the design.
Yeah, it's got an insectoid look about it that looks more nightmarish because it's a bit more pared back, as you say. It looks like sort of sleek as well as being that insectoid, and I think it does a lot more by doing less almost than a lot of designs have tended to in the past, like the Blood Slaughterer or something like that, which is slightly overwrought.
Appropriate for this time of year when you're watching a scary movie, when you're watching a horror movie. It's not the reveal of the character, the guy jumping out and slashing everyone to bits. When you see the character, you kind of rob it of its power. I find the most interesting and most psychologically torturous thing in a horror film is the lead up to that point, where you're looking into the shadows and you kind of like looking for shapes, or you can't quite see, you don't quite know what's coming. With the like forge feed models from 40k, it's big, it's obvious, it's demonic, it looks evil. With this, they're more unsettling rather than evil looking. The shapes, the spikes, there's just something unbelievably unsettling about the design of them, the base design of them, and the weaponry as well. The weaponry just looks so vicious. Yeah. When we were privileged to be at the Horus Heresy weekend, as you talked to Alan Bly about, and you mentioned things like when you're at Terra, when we get to Terra as a studio, they're going to have weapons there that are break in case of emergency. When the Dark Mechanicum break open the vaults of Moravec, I think it is, and you have all the demonic stuff that the Emperor, and he has some pretty horrible stuff in his arsenal when they bring all that stuff out and start using on each other in the Martian conflict. This is the stuff I wanted to see, and unfortunately, this is the stuff I wanted to see in the Mechanicum book, in the Mars
Civil War. Because that felt like, because this is Legions Imperialis for anyone that's because I don't think we actually said that. This is definitely something that would have been nice to see within that book. Because especially with the response of the community, the heresy community at large, to what is a specific release at the moment for Legions Imperialis, I mean, they'd be mental not to do it in scaled up versions. Hopefully we'll see that sooner.
So when you look at these images, we have seen them already. These scaled up, the enlarged images for the front, they are the 28mm versions of them.
These ones on the What makes you say that they're...
Because the detail on them. Okay, so...
all of that is, if you look... Send me which image you were referencing.
Okay.
So this is the picture that Miles has been referencing. I see what you're saying, sort of about, say, the studs on this right hand side, like
and
sort of
the
grabby pincer
the
thing.
detail on the gun, the holes on the gun, just the overall details on here. There's far too many details on this when you compare them to the Legion Imperialis.
Potentially, I don't trust, because this has obviously had a filter applied to it either way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whether I trust them not to have just enhanced the detail with, say, like, if you look at this, like, on the lens.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whether that is something that's certainly achievable on a Legion's model. I don't know whether you'd just done it better if it was a 28mm.
With that logic,
the size of a knight.
With that logic, you say this image is completely photoshopped.
It is, though. It is photoshopped, isn't it?
If you have a 28mm version of it anyway, why not just photograph that and put it on the front cover?
But so what I'm saying is that I don't think it is a 28mm.
It is 1,000,000% 28mm. 1,000,000% 28mm.
I don't know. Everyone leave it in the comments whether or not you think this
who's right
is certainly a Legion.
It's definitely me.
Is Legion's Imperialis, mate. I reckon this is an enhanced Legion's. I bet you a Mackey's breakfast.
I don't eat McDonald's, but okay, yeah, I'm so confident.
Right, don't mind. We don't have to bet. We don't have to bet a Mackey's breakfast.
Okay, whoever loses gets to eat the Mackey's breakfast. Yes. Do that.
So then I just get it. Right. So yeah, that is that. I'm glad that they're doing this because it is an enhancement for a game that sort of we all thought was going to die, or at least had the feelings that it was going to die with how it sort of started last year of like getting pushed back a few times and then stock issues at the start. It's nice to see that they're definitely supporting it to a large degree. And actually I think the trust that has gained off a number of people that I've heard talking about it recently is actually massive. So it's nice to see that it's supported further. Nice to see that Mechanicum main is getting more, or is getting.
I think it's one of those games. I think we can fool ourselves into thinking a game is more popular if it has more social media reach. I mean, especially our generation, right? But I don't think this game necessarily lends itself well to click farming, for a better word.
Yeah.
Where you take a photograph of it and you get like a huge response of it. It feels like the kind of game people buy, paint, and play with. A little bit like Lord of the Rings. I think we fool ourselves into thinking that Lord of the Rings isn't bigger than Warhammer, because a lot of people got into Warhammer through Lord of the Rings. There's a huge community of Lord of the Ring players, but they just simply aren't that active on social media. It feels very similar for this game, that there's a core group of players out there playing with it. It's just they aren't very engaged with promoting themselves or promoting their work on social media.
Yeah. Well, that's something that I definitely go along with. It's something that, like, I had a bit of an Epic army before 2 or 3 years ago when Epic 30k was a thing, like a community thing, because of printing, right? So I have done a couple of games at the start of Legions. Had to do our stupid challenge, Miles, to do the fantasy armies. Where is your army, sir? Where is your army?
Hold on.
Oh, he's going to get it. He's going to get the 4 models that he completed for his army. It's all about the passion with Miles. It's all about the passion.
Oh, no! I dropped the knight. No! Look at this. They're here.
Go on. Put them on the zoom in.
Look at this.
They look good. They look nice. You need to send me some pictures of them.
It's happening, but just very, very, very slowly.
Well, get them done by January when you come up and play some games.
100%. I'll have 2 armies painted up. I'll have this. The High Elves are coming out soon. I'll collect High Elves as well. New challenge. New challenge.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to wait with bated breath. So
So other things to say about this release, they do give a little indication of how the Dark Mechanicum are going to differ to the Mechanicum in game. So they mention with these that these are called Cilia Mutus, and unlike Battle Automa, the Cilia Mutus have individual intelligence, rudimentary and animalistic when operating solo, but they can adapt with frightening speed with several patterns are grouped together. So I think we're going to see a little bit more individual nature to these vehicles. And they say they link together. I mean, you're the rules guy. How do you see these differing? The rules, dude. Yeah. How do you see these differing
we
in
don't
play?
have Mechanicum in Legions Imperialis yet. That's not a thing that's been released. So
Right.
it
How
will.
about
It all
Heresy?
seems to be coming at once. In Heresy, well, we've just seen the corrupted. I don't know, man. I wouldn't like it to be represented with how they've just represented corrupted automata.
Yeah.
Malstraight whatever it was called in the Schism of Mars book. I don't think it shows that sort of adaptiveness that you've just described there well enough to be this interlinked sort of neural network of different bots. I think in the Heresy, Cortex controllers work really well to showcase like a nodal control of robots, but like an adaptive neural network, however you would say that in AI terms, I don't think that it showcases that very well. So I don't know, ability to react, something like that, whether or not that would be a thing, that would showcase it well, like the ability to adapt on the fly, having this larger network. So you've got a certain amount of bots that allows you to react rather than having cybernetic falling under the cybernetica rule, not allowing you to react, or automaton.
Yeah, I mean, something along the lines of like Gilliman's rules, where he gets better at fighting the opponent the longer the game goes on, maybe to represent. But it's interesting to see that they've thought about this issue, how the Mechanicum are very much like grouped in consciousness, whereas you have these individualistic AIs, rogue AIs. What do they call them? Not rogue AIs. Oh, abominable intelligences.
Yeah. Yes, the abominable intelligence.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the things in Mechanicum, the novel, isn't it, that is hunting the main character. You're going to win the heresy quiz when we do a heresy quiz. I am going to have to. Me and Miles have talked about, if you want to see a heresy quiz and participate, let us know, because we've been talking about what we should do for a Christmas episode. Miles reckons a heresy quiz. I'm not against this idea because I am British, so I am into quizzes. So I am pro that. However, I do think, Miles, you are going to win unless I default to questions like, what's Dawn's favourite pie? Or
no.
What would it be?
Chicken and mushroom.
Yeah, but I don't think there's a good answer for it. I don't think the books quite cover Dawn's baked goods habits to a sufficient degree.
Chicken and mushroom.
Chicken and mushroom.
Chicken and mushroom.
Maybe something blander, more stoic. Steak and ale. Oh, no, steak and ale is maybe more perturabo.
No, steak and ale is a little bit beefier. Is it? Yeah. Yeah. I was trying to think. I think that's the most boring. Steak and mushroom.
Steak and mushroom. That's a wild choice.
Yeah.
Anyway. This is a
This is a great release. Dark Mechanicum is a great release. They have a whole new design philosophy that's distinct from the Mechanicum, is distinct from the 40k counterparts. It's the most enthusiastic I've been about the miniatures being released in the Heresy since the launch of 2.0. And I can't wait to see when it gets out to the wild, all like the crazy conversions, the crazy stuff the community is able to create with this.
Yeah, well, it's actually adjacent to it. It's not actually what sparked me to start what I've been doing this week. But I was like, oh, do you know what I'm going to do? I've been hearing a lot about Legions Imperialis, meaning to get into it, paint this army for a while. And what I've been doing is actually painting some Iron Warriors.
Oh, check them up on screen.
Yeah, well, they are up on screen. So I've got 34 bases, no, 39 bases of tacticals, 19 bases of missile launchers, 8 bases of plasmas, 12 rhinos, 12 predators, 12 Sicarans, 6 Kratos, 16 rapiers. And that's it for the Iron Warriors, actually. Oh, and 3 Xiphons.
A partridge in the pear tree. How much of this is 3D printed?
This?
Yeah.
All of it. So I've got a mix of like Mark 6. The Mark 6 is plastic.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've got Mark 2s and 3s, which obviously you can't get. So that is printed.
Oh, so nice.
It's mainly that. That's the stopping point for me. I've got to do some Sons of Horus for like Phil, and so that I can have an army that can be taken to Warhammer World and stuff like that. That's all going to be Mark 6. Because my Iron Warriors, I wanted to match my army on the table in 28mm. It needs to have these elements of Mark 4s, Mark 3s, Mark 2s. That has to be printed at this point. So it is what it is. It is what it is. We're getting good releases for Legions, but yeah, I'd say about half of it's printed, if not more, because of that split. And then I'm going to have a force that's entirely plastic, and it lends itself really well to printing. There's some excellent models out there in the. I think I just sent you Mild 7.
Yes,
Mark 4s that are just incredible
nice
models.
On this scale as well. I mean, did you ever think we'd see this kind of detail on this scale?
No. And do you know what? Let me just go back. So there was a lot of complaints on the detail of the plastics of the Mark 6s at the release. Like, there's a bit of like warping, like connection of the gun to the shoulder pad.
Right.
That's just flat. There's no sort of cuts down for the arm and then back up into the shoulder pad. And I saw lots of people complaining about it at time of release. Like, Games Workshop is crap models, like this and that. I think those Mark 6s are excellent models. When you actually get them and are looking at them, they are brilliant models. And I think it's people that don't remember like what actually 6mm or 8mm models look like from any other company. Like 3D printing allows you to get like down the arm and then up into the shoulder pad. But as soon as you start casting it, there's just no way of doing all of those. And 3D printing comes with its own problems. Like bits of supports that when you're snapping off will snap the model because it's just so small. It comes with loads of problems of its own. And they're such small parts, lots of things break anyway. You have to be really careful with prints for 6 and 8mm. Because I've got an epic army, but obviously, as I said a few years ago, the 8mm Mark 6s. I don't know what your opinion of them is actually. The tanks are brilliant, and the Mark 6s.
So I've only had the tanks in hand. I haven't had any infantry in hand of the new Imperialis stuff. But tanks are excellent. I mean, they just scale down 1-to-1. They look perfect. So I've got a bunch of Sicarans downstairs to do like test pieces on. So if I bought a Thunderhawk as well because I'm painting up Sons of Horus one, but I'm not quite sure where to put the markings. Yeah. So I'm going to do a couple of test pieces on the Thunderhawk. Yeah, they're perfect for little. Yeah, they're just perfect.
So you actually use the models as test models for 28mm scale.
Yeah, it's quicker to do. It's quicker just to smash something out, and you don't have to worry about tanking a £600 model as opposed to something you just buy off eBay for a couple of quid.
So you're doing a Thunderhawk, are you? At the moment?
Yeah, I bought one, when they first were released, long time ago, and it's been one of these projects that I've been coming back to every like 6 months or so. Yeah, Sons of Horus.
And so it's a personal project?
Personal, yeah.
We should have a Thunderhawk off.
Thunderhawk off. Okay, we can crash them into each other.
Fly them around the room. No. I mean, I challenge you, sir, for the most interesting Thunderhawk.
Okay, right.
The most overall experience of the Thunderhawk.
Okay. Yeah, I wish there were more. I wish that Thunderhawks were more ubiquitous in the Heresy. I wish they were more like Land Raiders, like the frequency you see Land Raiders. I wish you saw Thunderhawks like that.
Do you know what it'd take for them to write a rule set that they were actually at all half good? Because I know it's also a prestige piece, but the reason I don't think we see them more, because people are well happy to spend like that amount on an army.
Yeah.
I mean, how much is a Rhino now? Like 45, 50 quid or something? People are well happy to spend that on an army. The rules are just so terrible, though.
Yeah,
that's
they've
why we
always
don't
been
see
bad.
Yeah, I think it's just very hard to balance a large flyer, but how it is at the moment, you can only fire 4 weapons. There you go, Pete. There's one for you. You can only fire 4 weapons, which is ridiculous. And yeah, it's just super heavy. Anyway, that's a rabbit hole. Yeah. Mini Thunderhawks are good for painting big Thunderhawks. We like the mech release. And Miles, shall we do some call-outs from Discord?
Yes, let's.
Yeah.
So we haven't done one of these for a while. Round up the hashtag and round up the Discord. This week, I put out the call, let's see your best stuff. Because unless you knew, I don't know whether you know this, Max, but I run a Patreon where I teach people how to paint better. Yeah, I know I'm a shrinking violet with actually saying, yes, I don't talk about it much. I don't like talking about it much. But on our community is a thriving little Discord server where we encourage people to paint, encourage new techniques and all that kind of thing. I wanted to showcase what our students are up to. So I believe up on screen right now, we have the showcase.
Yes. So we've got the Dark Angels that is above your Axamand. I thought we'd start there.
Perfect. Okay. If you want to start talking about, I'm still having a look to see whether.
Loser. So the reason I've started on this one is the weathering on the white on the like this is such a weird place to start. Like the rounded shield. I think the overall like look of the model, the sweep of the flow of the robes is really good with the sword out to the other side. I really like the colouring of the different, what could have been just very standard creams everywhere that looked identical because it's all cream. But no, I like the different textures across the different creams from the armour and the robes. The sword, I think he's done really well with that blue tinge to give it the steel look. And then the lighting of a very cold but neutral white to go with the blue steel along the edge of the tip, shall we call it, of the sword, falling off into darkness really steeply. I think that was done really well. And then the slight red tinge to the undersides of some bits of the armour, like with the sort of rust on there. I think it all comes together really nicely as a piece because of those touches. So
we'll be talking about El's work a lot recently. It's just his entire Dark Angel project. My personal art style, I'm a big believer in, I don't want you to see a well-painted miniature. I want you to feel like you're stepping into the world and seeing it in person, whatever this creature is. And Elle has been able to capture this feeling that you're not seeing a well-painted miniature. You're not seeing a nicely painted miniature or nicely weathered miniature. You're physically stepping into a different world. And what you see in person is the representation of what you see here. Absolutely nailed it. That kind of feeling and philosophy when it comes to what I like about miniature painting anyway.
Yeah. So
okay.
Next one. Oh, next one's yours. Skip.
All right.
Skip.
I've been up to all sorts recently. Axamand paint. Oh, Night Lord. Okay, before we go on, please, everyone in the community, if you're listening to this, get Night Lord painted by the end of the month. I want to do another showcase like this. I'm not a big believer in October. It's such a stupid thing. They took October, made it, and Games Workshop don't really promote it anyway. It's like one of these online meme or viral jokes that I can't stand. October should be the place, should be the home of Night Lords or ghouls or painting something a little bit horrific. So as a community, let's paint a Night Lord together. Any old Night Lord, it could be crap, it could be good, whatever. Just paint a Night Lord and let's put it up on social media.
I think I have one to do that with.
Paint a Night Lord, Max. Paint a Night Lord.
In the style of the things that we were talking about with the armor that comes away with the light source on the armor. Oh my god, that's what I should do.
Do it.
I should forget about all my other projects that I want to be doing.
Bin them off. So you don't have to paint it well. It doesn't have to be a masterpiece.
Whoa.
Just paint a Night Lord. Try and capture the feeling of Midnight Clad. And I think it'd be a nice little experience for everybody who's a fan of Hobby Hammer or on the Discord. Yeah, let's all paint a Night Lord together.
Right. Well, that's your talking time. We don't get to go over.
That's my talking time. Okay, let's go. No.
Yeah. So Dad God, Nap God.
Yes.
There's got a Be'lakor model. Boom.
So he has used the entire tutorial series you can find on Patreon right now for Be'lakor, and he's done a wonderful job of it. Absolutely, he's got a really nice contrast between the warmer magenta tones and then the cool blue tones. When you're dealing with large miniatures like this, it's so easy to become like lost in small details. So you're painting like a part of a wing, but the rest of it is completely not done. So when approaching big projects like this, it is best going to like big, huge sweeps of color, develop the overall look of the piece first, and then look at the minutiae, those tiny little details. I think he's done this very well. Like the broad sweep of the color placement, highlights, everything works so well on this. And it's a challenging piece. It is a very difficult piece. And he's pulled it off.
Yeah. Really nice. Can't really add anything to it because Miles has said, it's almost like you talk about painting for a living.
Yeah, dude, we've got a million of these to get through, so let's whip through to the next one. Should we do Josh Rosa next? And this is very much in your wheelhouse. I think you're going to love this.
Like, what's this, a Necromunda Enforcer Gene Stealer cult tainted gang?
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's Van Saar, isn't it? It's Van Saar.
First time poster. Signed up for the beginning of the month, hoping to up my TMM game, True Metallic Metal game. Welcome, Josh Rosa.
Yeah, and this is absolutely incredible from the get-go. Like, he's got the underpaint. He's done the underpainting on the knuckles.
He has.
And, well, I suppose all across the model. He's got a nice sort of... When you always you always reference that same fucking image of the oil painting whenever you're talking about these underpaintings. But it very much... do you know, like, it's either the apple or it's the... Is it a kid with like bronzed skin that you show or something like that in the old paint? This very much reminds me of that style, and I think nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. And it's such an atmospheric model for that corrupted Gene Stealer cultist. Screams.
Even the skin tones
Warhammer
as well.
Setting.
Like, it has more of like a pink on one side, more green on another. The underpainting has really helped with that. Beautiful work. And welcome on board, Josh. Right, next up we have Kerry Logar 42. And he has been absolutely smashing it with his white scars recently. He's done this interesting bust. I'm 100. I haven't spoken to him about this, but he's 100% based this off our Forgotten Forge World Relics show, which you should go back and watch right now. We did a whole episode where we looked at the Forgotten Relics that Forge World produced, all the batshit crazy stuff that they did that had no value, no applicable use in game or outside, and we wish they did busts again. And Kerry's actually painted one.
Nice. Yeah, he's got that nice mix of sort of like clean white and dirtiness to it, which I know might sound like a simple sort of like rubbish comment, but it's very hard not to, as we were saying on like the Death Guard section of the paint schemes, I think it was specifically, very easy to go far overboard with that weathering. Yeah. But when you just get it
full,
don't go full Death Guard.
Weathering, yes. Don't go full.
Yeah.
Don't go full Logar. Yeah.
And he does it really well from the scratches on the bronze parts. Like maybe I can't see stippling in there, Miles. You're not pushing it hard enough on the Patreon. You need to learn to stipple more.
Learn to stipple more. Yeah, it's the kingly technique.
No, I mean you.
Technique of kings.
Yeah, he's learned to stipple, Miles. Come on.
Yeah,
But
I understand. Pull your finger out.
yeah, I think that it's just a really nice piece.
Yeah, great. Right, let's have a look at this Dark Angel next by Hacks.
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 Dark Angel Leviathan.
Yep.
Black colour scheme. We said it was harder to pull off. It was at the harder end of the scale. What do you think
It is.
What do you think of it?
Nailed it. Pulled it off because the black looks interesting. It's not just. I mean, it's a really nice comparison with the black behind it done in the more traditional Games Workshop heavy metal style, where you just leave the armor black and you edge highlight everything into oblivion. And you have no appreciation of like the shapes and the molding of the miniature. Whereas with this piece, it's a lot more naturalistic. The heavy metal style is a well-painted miniature. This, you are stepping into the world, and the light reflection is playing off the top of the hull. It has like this really nice matted appearance across the entire thing, really nicely offset against the red shoulder pad and the red purity seals on there. Yeah, this is stepping into a universe and seeing this gigantic Leviathan in front of you.
Cool. Oh, we've got L's Dark Angel again.
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 No.
He's posted more than once. But I do want to round back on him because he does have one later on of a death wing. Too many deaths.
Well, if that's specifically notable, let's save for comment on that then.
Yes. We'll round back on that. Yeah. Elliot, I want to highlight next.
Yes.
I do believe... no, he hasn't got one later on. But yeah, this really nice custodian. Good infantry level custodian. This is the kind of custodian you just want to get on the tabletop. And he's so a lot of gold on it, obviously a lot of brown, red accent color, but he spent the time on the Guardian Spear, doing the little lightning bolt symbol off there. So that little touch just elevates the entire thing.
Though, when you say want to see it on the table, I don't, with the 5 AP2 attacks at initiative striking him. You can keep that on his shelf. Look at it.
What the hell are you talking about? Is that something? Is that like a new painting technique? I've never heard of that. Okay.
What? You're the one that mentioned gaming. So
no, I tried to make a joke that I'm not into gaming. I wouldn't understand that, but it just completely fell flat. So yeah, please unsubscribe. Please leave a downvote on the video for that terrible joke. But I tell you what's not terrible. NJC Miniatures. Yeah, NJC Miniatures Phoenician. Woo!
Yeah, involving incredible lightning strikes.
Yes.
I think is one of the things to point out.
Yeah, and he's like developed the light sources from that as well. Yeah, absolutely stunning piece of work. And what's really nice, you can see the ends of the wings kind of go much darker, and then he's used the accent of blue right at the very ends of it to mirror the lightning bolts on the sword. Yeah, really, really nicely accomplished piece. And again, if you are having your own troubles painting Fulgrim, please subscribe to the Patreon. And there's a full series on how you paint him. Multiple video series that NJC Miniatures has used on his own to produce this masterpiece. Produce your own masterpieces. Learn how to paint.
Son of a bitch. Speechless. Can you get in a plug on Gareth's Land Raider?
I taught him how to marble, and he is a student. I taught him everything he knows about miniature painting.
Oh, Miles.
Weathering powder is a little overdone, yeah. Excellent miniature, but looking at the weathering on here, so this is like a really classic example of kind of weathering gone awry. I mean, we talked about this with the Death Guard, how you see some miniatures with kind of like half the leg has been painted. I think what's happened here is that there's too much like a wet medium, whether he's used like a acrylic thinner or white spirits. and he's put it on, and it hasn't like settled into the recesses. So I think, Gareth, what you need to do is put it on dry, and then loads up into a brush, smash it on, and then seal it on top rather than going wet with it. But not knowing the process, I'm not sure what's happened there. But the marbling looks amazing. The marbling is a triumph. Well done on the marbling.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say about the heat bloom as well on the las cannon. I know it's an effect that is common now on las cannons because it's nice to do with an airbrush, but the gradienting and moving from colour to colour, I think is done really successfully.
Yeah, I think you should put it a little bit more towards the end of the gun. Like, I think it's too spread out.
Oh, no, man. Right, so I think if you look on the bottom las cannon, so it matches, like the gradient of it almost matches the fact that the las cannon's staggered, which I thought was really nice. Because the bottom one's heat effect will be affecting the top one. So, and if he wasn't going for that, he needs to claim that's what he was going for.
That's exactly what he's going for, yes.
I trust him that is what he was going for.
That's 1,000,000% what he's going for. Let's have a look at Jay Strudges. How you doing, Jonathan? So this is one of his latest pieces, studying non-metallic metal and the reflections on there. And if you are interested in developing a non-metallic game, there is an introduction to non-metallic on the Patreon.
Miles.
I wonder if I could plug every single one.
I don't doubt it. No, you can't set a challenge for yourself.
That's a good challenge.
You can't set a
I feel
challenge
like I'm losing.
yourself.
I feel like I'm losing students doing this, though.
I feel like I'm losing my will to live.
Yeah. You have to edit this as well. Don't envy you. Yes. Really nice light placement, and he's. This miniature is great at trying to show like a variety of different non-metallic metals, from the gold to the silvers to the steel to the bronze on his shoulder pad.
Yeah, he's the placement of light is really successful in it. The hammer and as well as the boob plates really stand out to me. Like the hammer and on the lightning hammer on the top of the back.
Yes.
Thing, but it's not a backpack. It's the icon,
like Iron Halo.
Yeah, whatever it is, the hammer at the top of that really catch my eye, and it's like in the right placement and like the golden placement between, in this case, the boob plates as well as the hammer. I think is done really well, and then frames the face nicely, along with the darkness on one side of the face going to the lightness on the other. I think really successful.
Yeah, beautiful piece. Beautiful piece. Okay, should we have a look at Strife miniatures?
Yes.
So this is one of his best pieces that he's done to date. Course range, variety of different. So when you're dealing with this black armor, right? How do you sex up black armor? Well, he's gone with a fiery flame base. Perfect. Like a mixture of non-metallic and true metallic on the blade. Perfect. And this really nice highlighted blue. More almost like a saturated black is used on here. So everything about this piece very eye-catching.
Agreed. And it's just a really good scheme when you see it in Heresy done well. The Dark Angel scheme, as much as I hate to admit it, I don't like admitting that Dark Angels, Knights in Space, are good. When they are done really successfully, from like the checks to the different tones on them here, especially with the basing, like the swords done really nicely. Like that's one thing that I keep picking up on actually today, is like painting of swords, and I've been looking at it when I was like scrolling on Instagram after getting out of bed. Really, really good light placement on the swords. Love it.
Yep, Rayo. Then we've got Bernd S.
Yes. The Apothecary.
Bernd Sunday. I think that's how. Sorry, I butchered. So Bernd came over for the Dreadnought course, and I butchered it the entire weekend. And God bless him, he didn't pick me up on it once. Thank you, Bernd. The Apothecary. I mean, looking at that white, how do you make white look interesting? How do you give it depth? And he's managed to do it here. Between the blood splatters, and again, I'm a big believer. You step into the universe. Space Marine should be caked with gore, head to toe. because they're in action pieces. This is an in-universe piece. So it's nice to see that. Blood Angels as well. Don't really get to see much Blood Angels from him. And then a Chaplain. Ooh, beautiful. Beautiful black armor, accented with the mottled green gold on the chest piece, and then the gold framing it. Yeah, really nicely accomplished piece.
So we just stepped out so that I could get a glass of the tonic and the Vimp tonic, Miles.
Oh yeah, it's a Manchester thing apparently, like Vimto.
Yeah. Well, it's the first thing I do when I get back to Manchester from any other location is get a glass of the tonic.
Oh,
but,
do you want to see what I'm drinking? Actually, I've come across this new drink in my local, my local sort of like hipster place. It's called a Foggy London.
What is that?
Earl Grey tea. With vanilla and like frothed milk on top, and I put a bit of cinnamon. I also like putting in like a little sprinkling of hot chocolate on top. Yeah, Foggy London. So that's what I'm drinking. You're drinking Vimto. I'm drinking the Foggy London.
Right. I think that separates us nicely into our relative categories. But yeah, that is that. We've been going down this. We're going to continue because we'd like to get through everyone's because it's such a nice bunch of models that you've had a response. But we might just have to pick up the pace so that me and Miles can get our videos out for this weekend that we've got to work on.
Yeah, I need to voice them out. So
there's too many goddamn good models when you put a post out like this, Miles.
It's too good. The Discord community is just too good. You're too responsive. It sucks. You've just put out too much good work that we have to. It feels like we're doing disservice now. But let's go for it. Okay, Carl Lupercal.
Yes. So do you know what I really like about this one? That he's got a really nice, good green on it. And do you know we were saying in the last episode that you were very particular about your green? This very much reminds me of Phil's Sons of Horus. That anyone that's watched my channel, Barefoot Miniatures, I'll get my own plug in there. This is a similar green to that, and I actually really like it for Sons of Horus.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah,
it feels like a very almost before like pre-heresy, before the heresy green was established, and then everyone tried to do their own variation of it. It felt like White Dwarf light green. Yeah, it's really nice.
A really successful heat bloom in there with different different heat
Superb
effects
weathering
on there, like the end of the gun to the thing. Yeah, weather, as we were saying in the weathers really nicely, and then the difference in the weathering between the black and the green, I think, has done really well. So overall, really nice model.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Okay, let's have a little look at Waldowski. Waldowski.
Yeah, I've got truncated names, so I can't see them sadly. But really nice skin on this Magnus, coming along really nicely.
Yeah,
like really good, like little bits of underpainting. Almost is it picking out veins in there as well?
So he's using the guide again. I really don't mean to plug this, but on the guides we talk about Magnus the Red. It's so hard producing like a red Magnus the Red, because if you do like a big bright red scheme, it just, your mind kind of rejects it. So we introduced a few more like natural, more human skin tones into it. So you have the nice play of like a reddish skin tone, but it's still recognizably human on it.
Yeah, and coming along really nicely. And then the Castellax that he's posted up has got a really nice like orange tinge. Do you know when we was talking about the red variations within it? Still recognisably Thousand Suns. I know it's not the red that we sort of talked about in that, but this is more sort of like, at least from the picture, that flat red, and has gone really successfully with the gold and the white. And is that marbling across the white as well?
It could be a bit marbling.
I think it is. I think it's some marbling.
A little bit marbling.
We've got
very nice marbling.
I'm going to zoom in, go straight to the cloak of this Horus.
Oof, yeah.
Really nice red tones across it with the purplish tinge in the low lights, the shadows. Along with the really successful like sort of fleur effects.
And look at the basing as well, like that, like light rust effect.
Yeah, coming across really nicely.
Nice. Yeah, for such a challenging piece. Yeah, I mean, you great black, good gold, great basing. Yeah, everything you want from such a demanding, challenging piece as well.
Because that is one of the things to say about it as well. I've gone off the picture and then come back to it a couple of times. The challenge of the Horus piece specifically, because it is such a centerpiece and iconic for the Heresy. I think it's going really well.
The base is so big as well, and you do run the problem of it just looking too domineering and just completely obliterating any interest of Horus himself. Yeah, so he's balanced off really nicely, just using like red embers in the base and then black on top. So all your eye is being led towards Horus's face.
Got the Empyreans,
So
James
came down for our Necromunda weekend challenge on the Hive Secundus box set. He graced us with his presence, and he gave me a really useful tip. So instead of using the plastic cutouts that come with like little floating malstrains, if you put like a black rod there, your mind kind of cancels it out, and it's far better to use like black. I've never heard that before.
You son of a bitch.
It's so insightful hearing this from such an accomplished artist that I'll be introducing this into my own work.
You son of a bitch. So if anyone wants to get why Miles is harping on about that, listen to the back episodes about 5-6 episodes ago, where Miles completely dismissed my opinion of clear stem versus black stem flight rods. And it's true. Yeah. He just needed to hear it off someone else. Apparently he treats me like his wife and dismisses my opinion until he hears it off someone else.
Do you know, like when your wife recommends a TV show to you, like, oh, I heard off my friends, like, this TV show's good. I think, oh yeah, that's nice. And you know secretly, I'm never going to watch that show. Or I don't respect your friends on a fundamental level, so I disregard their opinion. You know, when you hear an opinion from somebody you respect, yeah, you take notice of it.
Apparently so. That's why I didn't finish The Barbarian when you recommended it to me.
That's why.
I put it on and was like, that's from Miles, not watching it.
Yeah, I'm never going to watch anything you recommend again. Yeah.
So we've got Jose T.
Yeah.
Grey Space Wolves.
Jose's up to. Yeah, again, grey to work for you. I think he has that nice balance between the dark grey and then the highlights along the volumes of the piece. And the base looks interesting as well, how it's developing. Like that hint of turquoise on there.
Yeah, well, I think it pops off with the red of the cloak really nicely, and obviously the red's intrinsic to the Space Wolf scheme. Do you think, is that like a sandstone Prosperine-esque
I think it's Tiscan, yeah. I think the turquoise is like bleeding through the Empyrean or some kind of like warp magic, but it's really nice because he hasn't used blue anywhere else on the piece, but it works. It really works.
Agreed.
Normally look to like balance these stuff out, but yeah, that hint of and he's done another couple of pieces. So a Primaris Lieutenant and an Abaddon. All equally nice, nicely weathered, nice colour
nice
selections.
Skin on that Primaris, and again on the Abaddon.
Beautiful. Should I have a look at Izzy Natchui?
The Salt Harvits.
Yeah, this is gorgeous. So I had to do a bit of a double take with this because I thought he reposted one of my works, but no.
It's good, so therefore it must be Miles's.
It must be mine. Yeah, no, like I know my own work, obviously. But when I saw it, it's like, oh, is this like a repost of mine? But so nice. Like the volumetric highlighting on the armor, the face, the white hair, and the gold. How often do you see true metallic metal where the gold or the metallic is just slapped onto the miniature and left because it kind of reflects the ambient lights anyway? Yeah. So this artist has taken it on a step and added blue in the shadows and highlights of like almost a steel color, and you have such a nice variation in the tonal values of the gold. Yeah, really, really good stuff.
Agreed. We've got what is the name of the next the Nova silver awarded, not Atropos,
Let's
Lancer.
just Gossequit. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's still like a right-wing meme. I'm not sure we got into trouble there. Let's just call him Nova or Champion, because he won a journeyman vehicle, won silver at Nova in a journeyman vehicle a few weeks ago with his knight.
Yeah, and it looks incredible. It looks incredible with the Martian basin bleeding onto the bone colour. Really successful.
Yeah. And, you know, you have that big bombastic lightning strike across the shield, but if you zoom in on the armour, that's really nicely detailed. Like the texture on the metal portion just before the head, like everything on here has seen like care and attention applied to it. Really good work. Worthy silver winner.
We've got some zoom ins here. I'll just zoom in for a sec before we move on. Yeah, this you can almost, do you know when you were talking about the metals and steels where you imagine where you do the different damages from the chips?
Yeah.
You can almost see it on this area around the head, like starting at the front and then sort of, I want to say exploding, to the back, and the different types of weathering that you would get from the various effects. Like it.
Beautiful.
We've got Gulliman on a fallen plinth on a different base. So really like it. I really like how he's gone away here. Again, you'll have to read out the name. Mine's all truncated.
Sinath. Yeah.
Like how Sinath has gone away from the classic Gulliman base and done something, obviously with those pieces, but different. I do like more naturalistic styles in the Heresy, and it's almost like it's a different moment in time than everyone else has been doing with their Gulliman, because it's got that fallen effects to it. The blue's really nice. So a really nice, vibrant blue. Along playing off the sword, tying it back to the armor.
Great basin. You could tell like this has been heavily inspired by Matthew Kane's work, from the sword to the blue armor to the design relief on the cloak. Yeah, very, very nicely done.
So we get on to... Do you want to say the name?
Brett. Yes, Brett Nicholson.
With Gimli on Mordecai.
We're just taking a moment here. We're taking a bit of time out. We're just sitting down after a good hard day's work and just having a bit of smoke of weed. Do these dwarves smoke weed in this universe? What's he smoking now?
His pipe weed is lambus leaf. Not lambus leaf. It's lambus bread, isn't it?
Crack.
Yeah. Well, this is the scene from the deleted scenes in the Two Towers where him and Legolas are like, oh, I got this number. Crack. Legolas shoots the hurricane. He's like, he twitched because he's got my axe in his nervous system. But no, I love the model. It's, as we were saying about Lord of the Rings before, it's something that you don't tend to see that much, or at least in the circles that I operate in, you operate in. That
it's all heresy and war crimes in my universe. We don't get any nice like pastoral images of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, and maybe I need to increase that.
Yeah.
And then we back to L with the...
Yes, this is why I wanted to like circle back, because everything he's done on this collection just screams the kind of painting I love the most. And you can see the weathering isn't overdone. It's tasteful. You can still easily read the miniature. It hasn't been caked in any weathering powder or any like enamel paint and then removed. No, he's very skillfully and artfully applied the shadows and the weathering to where it needs to be. And the overall look of the miniature is just absolutely beautiful. And he's taken very heavy inspiration from the video game, the Space Hulk Deathwing game, which if you scroll down a little bit, I believe we can see.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So part of the reason why I bought this game is to get these kind of like stills, or like when you're arming your Marines and you can twirl them around. It's phenomenal for reference image. I've done the same with Space Marine 2, where I've put together like Black Legionnaires and different. Anyway, I've taken lots of videos as references, because the amount of texture these guys are able to put onto the armor, phenomenal reference for any artists out there.
As a quick aside, how much have you actually played of Space Marine 2 now?
I'm nearly towards the end of the campaign.
Oh, so you've actually been playing it. You've had time.
I have been playing it. Yeah, I've been smashing. I've been smashing a little bit of play every now and again. Yeah, I have. It's really not a long campaign. Even somebody like me, I'm dreading when it's over and then I have to do like online play with other people, because when I play a game, I'm not playing I'm not hyper focused. I'm just not hyper focused. I want to do it to relax and kind of unwind and knock off. So I'm not paying that much attention. But you get people on here doing it 24/7 who just smash you to pieces. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to that experience. Anyway, Igor,
a stunty model. Now,
a beautiful stunty model.
Yeah. Now this is from, I believe, the Kill Team box that gives these squats in. And it has a real nice... I wonder if this is a Necromunda model, because in Necromunda you get Ghast, which is like a fungus that glows green, which inspired a full campaign on that we did on the channel. And it's got this real... I really like how the green, like sort of the... You say it better, but the sort of like the light green...
How it interacts with everything.
Yeah, exactly. What's it called? The hue of the green?
The hue of the green. Yeah, the Orcell effect of the hue. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. I knew the word. I just didn't trust myself. I should have just backed myself. Yeah, but yeah, and
it's nice seeing how it influences like things like the yellow armor, how it turns green, because so often when you think, how do I paint yellow? Oh, you pick up a yellow paint, you put on. But what about the atmospheric effects? If you're in down hive, everything's like bathed in like this cool blue. Well, how does that influence the yellow to give a more atmospheric effect? And this is something Igor's been exploring a lot with his own work, generating atmosphere in his pieces. I think this is just another step on this progression.
Yeah, and it's really nice how it's played out across the NMM on the hammer.
Yeah,
as well as on the underside of the sleeve and the leather
and the metal along the chest. Yeah, everything's influenced by the atmospheric effects and whatever light sources exist around the miniature.
We've got...
Shall I look at Fred's work?
Yeah, Fred's Leviathan, which,
cheeky Leviathan.
Again, nice volumetric highlights on there. Really stands out as Sons of Horus. We've got...
bit of marbling, I see, as well.
I was just thinking, is it marbling or is it just nice? Because it also looks like... The image, doesn't show it to me clearly. But it's nice weathering across the entire model, so I think, maybe it's just a little bit that. And
good green.
Green. Exactly. Well, again, this is what we were saying on the last cast that I was getting at. We've seen a completely different coloured Sons of Horus that's recognisably Sons of Horus above in the laser vindicator. And then again, a completely different green that's really good and nice. Recognisably Sons of Horus again. Really successfully done.
Yeah. Okay, on to Kokopelli 3803. Next.
I'm going to go to the non-Games Workshop model first.
Okay, great. Yeah, so this is a student of mine. With this piece, we wanted to concentrate on slightly more of like a comic book-esque style, especially concentrate on the light sources and more that magenta feeding through the miniature. So you have like the more naturalistic skin painting of the character, and then the demonic, I guess, flashy color coming out from the Jinn. I believe this is from the Marvel Crisis Protocol.
Yeah, I think so.
Game.
I've got very limited knowledge in it, but I do like to... Do you know, like, whenever anyone's done anything non-Games Workshop and seen how successful a lot of the schemes that they achieve in there are, does inspire me to do something a bit weird. Like, branch out from Games Workshop. Oh my god. How could I do that?
Oof, I know, but
right?
You need a community, you need miniatures. Yeah. How do you leave? How do you leave your first love?
Indoctrinated. And a really nice Space Wolves Dreadnought in there as well.
Yeah. He did that on the Dreadnought course. that was run. Yes, so he came along. He sculpted the fur on the side. He went on an Anafarius, I don't know how to pronounce it, Anafarius course to learn how to use green stuff, and he did the tooth thread on the knee pad as well. So all that is self-sculpted.
Oh, nice.
All painted in the weekend.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to tell it wasn't, which is therefore meaning it's incredibly successful. We've got
beautiful work.
Silly's
work. Silli. Yeah, Silly's work. So a lot of pieces here. So we have the lion, which, okay. I think this might be my favorite Primarch to paint. The Primarch, the most enjoyable at the very least.
What?
Because, who doesn't like painting a knight in armor? Like, it just appeals to like the 12-year-old boy in me, painting a big knight in armor. Great. There's some, like Magnus, there's some projects, when I get a commission, I kind of like, okay, gotta do this again.
What? Because you know it's going to be like stressful because it's got to be so, not specific,
Magnus.
But it's a challenging
Magnus.
Model.
Yeah, Magnus is one of them, purely because the skin is a problem, the amount of gold is a problem, the posing I don't think is the best of that miniature, and then that goddamn fire swirl around it. Yeah.
So everyone send Miles your Magnuses. Inundate Miles with Magnuses. We've got him on something. We've got him. He's put it out into the world. We all need to send him Magnuses. And a really successful lion from Silly with the vibrancy of the Volkite, as well as then going into the actual lion. I think it balances the lion model really well with how those non-lion Marines are done.
And then we got the next piece, which I think is the best piece he's done. And it highlights a big problem with the Magnus sculpt because his Kopesh has snapped off.
Oh no!
Yeah,
it's such a good model as well. Such a good paint job.
Look at the armor he's done. Look at the gold, the variations in tone, and like the purple of the hair, the red of the skin, the magenta red of the cloak, the red of the like everything about it is so accomplished. Like, great color choices for Magnus. Then so good, so accomplished. Then you look at the Wolf King. Again, charging forward, has a more muted, darker sea green armor, but you have like that magenta running through the blade.
Really nice and tied together as a display piece, really well. Like across both models. So, good. And then
Lorgar at the end. You have to spoil it all by painting a goddamn Lorgar.
What? Why spoil it all? Really nice lighting effects around the face. Do you just
no, like a joke. Like nobody likes Lorgar. No, but no, it's a fantastic paint job. But yeah, nobody likes Lorgar.
Well, what a way to end it.
Yeah,
that's the end of the pieces on your Discord, Miles. So finally, because I did not put a shout out on my Discord for like incoming armies, I didn't know. Miles surprised me with this one today. I just wanted to shout out Abaddon's Lost Arms. He just finished an Iron Warriors project that has been going on for, I think, like 6 months, a year now. But yeah, just finished it. Really nice. I couldn't find the pictures of the Iron Circle. But one that has stood out recently is the Deredio Dreadnought that he's done, with like heat coming from the coils onto the actual plasma weapons. Some really successful hazard stripes, not overdone on the entire model. Like it's getting up there, but still tasteful. Yeah,
tastefully done.
Exactly. And that's what you got to stick to on Iron Warriors. The tasteful amount of hazard stripes, but then also really successfully like chipped and weathered from there with like sprinkled edges of the weathering rather than like sharp edges to the weathering on the hazard stripes.
Yeah.
So yeah, really successful painting on the Deredio, and a really nice army in total that he's ended up with. Yeah. Just wanted to give him a
Yeah,
shout out.
shame he put all that effort into Iron Warriors, though. Oh, well.
Yeah, he could have just done a white army and done it really easily.
Yeah. Yeah, spray a Wraithbone and Bob's your uncle.
Exactly. So that is our shout outs from Discord. Miles, have you got anything left to add?
Dim. I mean, that's no in Welsh.
Oh, right.
Dim. I wasn't calling you stupid. Sorry. No.
I wasn't, I promise. And nothing left from me. So that is episode 31 or 2. I can't remember what we said at the start.
32. Let's go 32.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And we'll see you next time. In a bit.